All right, take two. First one just disappeared out in the Netherlands, and well, hopefully this one will go a little bit better and a little bit faster. Hi, my name is Scott, and today I want to talk about leaning forward. You know, when I was a young man, I grew up on the Jersey coast, and one of the things that we like to do is in January and February, we'd go on the boardwalk because it was deserted. We liked that with all the, without any of the tourists there. But in January and February, it's bitter cold. I mean, it is bone chilling cold. I've never been anywhere colder than the Jersey Shore in January and February when the northeast winds are blowing. And sometimes they would blow at 50 or 60 miles an hour, and you had two choices when you're walking on the boardwalk. Either you can lean forward and continue to move up the boardwalk, or you can allow yourself to straighten up, in which case the wind would take you, blow you back, and sometimes knock you off your feet and roll you on the boardwalk a little bit. Besides being a teenager and that being embarrassing, sometimes it hurt a little bit because that wood is still hard in the winter, just like it is in the summer. And so, when we talk about leaning forward and we talk about, you know, why we do things and why we should always be leaning forward, we're bracing ourselves against the wind. And you should take that as a good metaphor when we talk about preparedness. Either you can lean forward and prepare, or you can straighten up or lean back and be blown wherever the wind wants you to go. And that's a difference. I mean, if you're at the mercy at the powers that be, local government, FEMA camps, with all that stuff we talk about, well, you're at their mercy. If you don't have any food, you only get what they give you. Whereas if you are leaning forward, if you are bracing for the storm, so to speak, you have your own food and you can kind of chart your own destiny. So that depends on you. Lean forward, do what you can with what you got. All of us have different levels of preparedness. We all have different levels of income. We all have, different ideas of how we should prepare. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, what are you doing to prepare today, tomorrow, and the day after? It could be something as simple as buying another can of beans. It could be, checking your rain barrels. It could be starting a garden. Whatever. It could be you cruising your neighborhood to see what's going on out there. But these are things you should be doing so that when the strong winds blow out of the northeast, you will not be blown about and be at their mercy. You'll be able to stand firm and chart your own course. And, a lot of people get caught up into the whys and the hows and oh, well, the EMP is going to take out the grid, or, coronal mass ejection, or nuclear holocaust, Teowaki, SHTV, WROL. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what triggers the event. What matters is, are you prepared? Let me say this again. It doesn't matter what triggers the event. What matters is, are you prepared? If you don't know where to start, I'll give you 4. 1, do you have enough food for you and your family? 2, do you have water available for you and your family? 3, can you maintain sanitary conditions? And 4, can you defend your family? There's 4 that you can start off with right now. Start thinking about those. Start thinking about how you're going to accomplish them. And, it's not always the quantity, and sometimes it's not the quality of the gear. Buying a $3,000 Daniel Defense AR-15 it's not going to make you a marksman. You know, I've shot a lot of AR-15s. Some of the ones that shoot best are the cheap ones. So it's, you know, don't be worried about, oh, I've got to have this LaRue or Daniel Defense $3,000 AR-15, and because I don't have the money to get one, I'm just not going to get one. Well, no, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are shooting Mossbergs and Savages, and, you know, they'll dot a gnat's eye at 100 yards with open sights. And that's really what you want. So, you know, do what you can with what you got. And prepare. You know, get food, get water, get this stuff. But don't worry, don't spend so much time worrying about how the world's going to come to an end. Just worry about what you're going to do when it does, because that's going to determine a whole lot about what's going on. And I can see right now, I'm looking at my iPhone, and it's getting a little dark. So I do want to touch one other subject I was talking about. I did a video on keeping your cell phone alive, and I still think that's very important, because you're holding a small computer in your hand that you can use online and offline. There's a lot of things you can still do with that phone even though there's no cell service, so it behooves you to keep that alive. And in my other video, I talk about a tech kit and the ways to charge it and stuff. Well, I have just found a battery bank with a solar panel and one that works. A friend of mine had one, and I asked him if his worked, and he says it works really well. I was aware of these things, but I was never sure about how good they were. You know, China, yeah, you know, they slap it on there, charge you a couple bucks, and it doesn't work. But this one appears to work, so I bought one, and that's what I'm going to use to charge my phone up. Plus, I can hang it outside my pack during the day, and the sunlight will charge it up at least somewhat. He tells me his will charge up full in about 3 hours. But it got me thinking that I also carry extra batteries in my pack for different things, and I was watching a YouTube video, Viking Preparedness, and Pastor Joe Fox, and he did a review on a light. It was a Trunight TC15, and what was cool about that light is you can recharge it by plugging a micro USB port right into the flashlight. In other words, you didn't need an extra charger, but you can plug it in. And so what that means is all the same stuff that I use to charge my cell phone, I can now use to charge my flashlight, which means less stuff I have to carry. And now, because I have a little solar capability of recharging, I now have a perpetual light as well as a perpetual phone. And the battery thing I bought, hopefully, like I said, it's on its way, that I can probably get 3 or 4 charges on the flashlight and the phone before it runs out. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'll report on that as it goes on. But anyhow, I'm looking, the dusk is coming, and I'm looking, my screen's getting darker and darker. But that's all I really wanted to say tonight. Everybody out there, you know, lean forward, lean into the wind, and stay safe and stay secure. And we'll see you.